They say that the world is false without a basis, without a lord, not brought about in regular casual sequence, caused by desire in short. The word there is used meaning these people. Who are these people? These are people with demonic endowments. What do these people say? People with demonic endowments say that the world is first of all without a basis and without support. They say that the world has no basis. They say that it's like a balloon and that it will burst. This is what they believe. Secondly, they believe that the world is false. This is what demonic people say. They say that the world is without a lord and that there is no God in the world. Sri Krishna says that the person who says this is an asura, a demon. A person says that there is no God in the world is a rakshas, demon. The majority of white-collar people say that there is no God. Many people in three-piece suits say this. I have no opposition to people in three-piece suits, but people who say that there is no God in the world are asura, demons. Not only that, but they say that the world has arisen by itself and that is not brought about in regular casual sequence. They say that it is arisen from the union between a female and a male, from the union between matter and spirit, and that it is a biochemical reaction. This feels like a very big phrase. Biochemical reaction. People automatically think that the world has arisen by itself and that it is not brought about in regular casual sequence. Now, if this world is unsteady, if this world has no basis, if there was no support in this world, if this world was absolutely false, if there was no God in this world, if there was no owner of this world, and if this world has happened to be by itself and is not brought about in regular casual sequence, causal sequence, then what is the world for? These people say, in short, that this world is caused by desire and that the world is just there for material enjoyments. They say that enjoy the material pleasures of today because who knows when the bubble will burst. Enjoy whatever is there today. People who are asura, demons, say, in short, that the world is caused by desire and is just there for material enjoyments. And then they say, Anyat Kim, what else is there in this world? They say that the world is only for enjoying material pleasures and that they cannot be any other cause for the world. These are people who are rakshas, demons. A person who looks towards the world with a goal and desire only looks at the world to enjoy material pleasures is a rakshas, demon. Is the world without a basis? Rakshas says that it is. Asura demons say that the world is without a basis. They say that there is no support of the world. Asura demons say that the world is completely false and that the world is without a lord. And when these people who say that the world has become about by itself and that it has not been brought about by regular causal sequence, how can the world come about in this way? If you wish to prove this asura demon wrong, then there is only one way. This is because we bump into many such asura demons. I meet them and you may also meet them. They say that there is no such thing as God. These people are asura demons. I was once staying with the family. There was an elder brother and a younger brother. The elder brother was very dharmic and I would do a lot of holy discourses with him. The younger brother did not believe in God. He told me, why are you doing all of this? Are of these holy discourses wasted expense? Rather than this, why do you not do this and do that? There is no such thing as God. He came up to me and told me to prove that God exists and that God is there. I told him that the person who has created this world is God. He replied that, no, this world was just being created by itself and anybody can create it. It is a biochemical reaction. I remembered a bhajan, a holy song. I heard it from my grandmother during my childhood and even today many women sing it. The whole circumstance was such that we were sitting down together having eaten and therefore was taking fruits. There were pomegranates there. I told him that I wanted to eat pomegranates and that he should cut pomegranates for me. He found it strange that I was asking him to prove the existence of God and saying that he should prove that God is there, but Bhupendrabhai is telling me to cut pomegranates. I told him that God is there and is not going to go anywhere. Just cut the pomegranates first. He ordered a plate from inside and ordered a knife. He cut the fruit, took out the pomegranate seeds and gave them to me to eat. I told him that now I do not wish to eat, so put all those pomegranate seeds back into the fruit. He told me, how can this happen? I should also mention that this person was a very big architect and interior decorator. He had a lot of egotism because of his intellect, and he thought that I studied in this very big university in a foreign country and did all of this. I do a lot of architecture and interior decorating. I told him to put the pomegranate seeds back into the fruit because he is an intelligent person, as he has studied a scholarship at a foreign university. I told him to do interior designing on this and to arrange it. He told me that he would not be able to do it. I asked him why he would not be able to do it. He said, after you cut the pomegranate fruit, then how can you put the pomegranate seed back into it? I told him that you are so intelligent, but you cannot put pomegranate seeds back into the fruit after cutting it. Then what must my God be like, who has put pomegranate seeds into the fruit without cutting the fruit? Just look to see what my God can do. I told them that even after cutting the fruit, you could not place the pomegranate seeds inside the fruit, whereas God has placed his pomegranate seeds there without cutting the pomegranate. Maro Hari je kare to jove. Just try and do what my Hari God does. They had a very nice house by the seaside, and we could see a lot of coconut trees outside. I asked him if he looks at the coconut trees every day, and he said that, yeah, we look at it a lot. Whenever we are reading newspapers in the morning and drinking tea by the balcony, then we look at the coconut trees. I told him that where you see coconut trees, I see my God, my Hari, and my Lord. He asked me, how can I see God in coconut trees? I told him, yes, I can. He asked me how this was so. I told him that this is a very big filter plant of God. The majority of coconuts grow by the sea. The salty water of the sea underneath the ground goes to the coconuts. When the roots of the coconut tree absorb the salty water, then the entire trunk is filtration plant of God. The saltiness is filtered, and not only is the saltiness filtered, but the sweetness is collected inside, and that the water that comes into the coconuts is so nice and sweet. Where has the saltiness of the sea gone? Just look and see what my Hari God does. Maro Hari je kare to juve. Just try and do what my Hari God does. One who has a perspective realizes that God resides in each and every particle in this world. But an Asura demon person and a person with the perspective of an Asura demon cannot see this and just thinks that there is no such thing as God. Nothing happens by itself. God has said in the Gita that Karya karan kartruve hetu prakuti rachyate. There is always some or the other relation between the cause and the effect. There is always a cause behind something that happens. Otherwise that thing cannot happen. If I do not pick up a paperweight and put it in another place, then it will remain in the same place for years and years. If you need somebody and a power, which is the power of lifting to move a small paperweight from one place to the other, then how can all of this, such as the sun, the moon, and the planets, move just by themselves? Do they not need any power at all? This power is my God, and this power is my Hari. You have to explain to Asura demons. You have to prove it to them. I will say last that to these people who say that there is no such thing as God. The poet Rabindranath Tagore has said something very nice. There was one time when I was at college, then I would bang my fist against the table of the college canteen and prove to people that God is there, God is there. I would give this argument. After reading this one quote from Rabindranath Tagore, then I got a lot of peace. I stopped trying to prove that God exists. When people came to me and told me that God does not exist, then I would just tell them, really? Just explain this to me. That from where did you get the power to speak to me that God does not exist? Where does this power come from? The power is in you that gives you the strength to say that God does not exist. I call that the power of God. In this material world, if a son does not do what his father says, then if the father is very well known, wealthy, and has everything in society and is doing everything he can to take his son on the right path, but the son is doing wrong activities and is not listening to what the father says, then it is the father so will explain to his son once, twice, or 3 times. If his son still does not listen, then at the end of the day, the father gets frustrated, and after taking advice from a good lawyer, he places an advertisement in the newspaper that this son is not in our family. Therefore, however he behaves towards people in any way, then he is doing it under his own accountability and responsibility, and we will not be responsible for it. If a son does not listen to our father, then the father puts an advertisement in the newspaper that now I have nothing to do with him. So how forgiving is the father up there who never puts such an advertisement? You do not even accept his existence, and you say that God is not there. What if God says that, look at your window and you will see that the sun will stop shining? From tomorrow air will stop coming into your house. Nothing will happen. God says it does not matter. You do not want to believe in me? Rain will still fall on your rooftops. When you eat white chapatis, you will still get red blood. How compassionate is God? And one who is the compassionate can only be God and nobody else. Therefore God is certainly there. All these things are said to in the 8th chapter. But when one understands that the world is real, with a basis, with a Lord, brought about in regular causal sequence, and caused by divinity, then this is divine quality. We are all people with divine qualities, and therefore we will continue the activity of studying the Gita.